Welcome, adventure. I'm GM Goblin, and this is Goblin Plays, and this is Throne and Liberty. We're going to go over character creation real quick, and what the first things are you're going to be doing when you start up the game. Now, the first thing when you create a character is you're going to be picking a server. And so when you pick a server, make sure that one, you check with your friends or guildies, and if you want, put them on the same server, because each of your characters can be on different servers. So I would make sure that if you want them to be able to be used with the same group of friends, then I would go ahead and make sure that they are on the same server. Let's see. First thing to note whenever you're creating a character, human. Human is your only race, so nothing weird, nothing fun. I do not know or think we're going to be seeing anything different. You can change your body type. And so they've got their presenting male and female characters. Pretty common. Appearance setting, you can pick the face, which is we're pretty common, pretty used to. The level of detail that they've got on this is pretty good. One of my main reasons that I loved my last real MMO was BDO. Black Desert Online had a great customization when it came to their characters. And then, of course, the fighting was very much akin to a fighting game like you grew up on. Now, you can choose chin, jaw. They've got lots of different options for eyes. There is no general way for you to change this. I mean, it's not going to be easy. There might be something in the shop if you want to spend money on it. But if you're free to play or if you're just trying out, spend a little bit of time playing with this. Like, I missed those whenever I went through here. But regardless, spend a little bit of time, play with your character. If you don't care, then, hit randomizer, see what the computer can come up with. There are tons of options. You could spend hours on here. It's almost like an Elder Scroll game. And they can even change your lighting, which is one of the things that kind of annoys me in some games, is the fact that lighting changes how colors look and everything with all of our characters. So being able to change lighting is pretty cool for me. And then, of course, your presets where you were before. Back button. But you'll go through. Start your character. Also, if you're going to delete a character, and then it takes a little bit of time for you to be able to delete that character. So, if your kid or somebody messes with it, you're not going to be too messed up. But after you create a character, you'll be brought into the game going through a short little intro. You'll get a little story, and you'll get some general mechanics on how to play the game. The next thing you need to decide on, the next big choice after you have created your character, is going to be what kind of weapon you want to use. Now, there is no class system, so everything comes off of your weapon skills and the trees and how you define those weapon skills. So this character is built as a tank, and so I have sword and shield, blocks, taunts, good stuff, and then I have rod and tome. And so this allows me to heal as well, even though I messed up on this, and I need to advance this more today. Not just deal damage, which you deal with curses, and it can be pretty good damage, but this is where all my healing abilities come from, which is going to help me sustain, and it makes it so this guy just does not want to die, period. So I can taunt. I don't deal as much damage as some of the other weapons, but that's okay. So your weapons are also going to have trees as you level up. You're going to do contracts and things, and you're going to get these tiers. They expire after 72 hours, so remember to use them. And if you're watching this and already playing the game, check your inventory, because that's where they are. They're little teardrops, look like glass tears. Yeah, use them. Just use them. And so your skills unlock as you go, like where you've come to expect. You have passive, and then you have non-passive, and then what you have for your quick slots can be changed. And so you have access to these at all times, and then you'll open up all the way up to 8 passives by the time you hit level 40. So, but your weapons are going to be either dagger. Dagger is going to be, there's going to be stealth, it's going to be fast, close range. There is going to be some poison, and it is fast damage. I have seen people mix it in with other builds, including with like a cleric build, so that they can deal massive melee damage. And it has some other things like being able to cloak themselves for a bit of time to be able to move, and so it's pretty good maneuverability and all. Greatsword is awesome. It's real popular right now. Actually, I've seen most tanks that I have seen have been running this build right here, where they're running the wand and tome, and then they're running greatsword. Greatsword has got good AoE. It's got great big crit damage. It's pretty fun. Played with that a little bit. Your crossbow is another one of those real light ones. It is ranged. It deals high damage. It's pretty popular as well. You're also, like I said, looking at wand, looking at sword we've already had, which is your iconic tank. So if you want a tank, then I recommend using this because of your taunt abilities, and then some of your defensive skills, and then picking something else. You could even do tanking abilities and then throw on your staff and be a mage tank and be throwing a bunch of damage around. If I get a chance, I will probably play with this a lot more. This would probably help you level, in all honesty. And if it was easy to switch your abilities, I would probably do that. But it is not, and I'll show you that in just a second. Longbow, ranged. I mean, you're looking at good damage, range damage. There is a little bit of heal. Your only only weapons that give you heals are going to be your longbow and your wand. And so I picked the wand. I mean, I haven't played with bow that much, so maybe it was off, but from everything I have seen, it looks pretty good when it comes to being a real healer. I think this would be better for your range damage because wand is pretty short for a lot of its stuff. You're talking right there like 14 meters with things. It's a little bit longer when it comes to the bow just in general. But those are your weapons. Showed you how you can get into your tree. There are tons of builds on this kind of stuff right here. Weapon specializations. You can do this for every group of weapons, for every skill they've got. I went in and have used it more for my damage because I'm having no problem not dying in this game right now. But you can come in, and each time that you look at one of your abilities, you have up to 3 options. 3 options are going to allow you to add things to where it increases your effectiveness with that skill. And it'll change the icon a little bit. But they do everything from duration to adding different stacks, like these are all poison really, and to adding explosions to where they deal extra damage. It just depends on what you're picking. So, getting extra damage, being able to move while casting, and so this is definitely more of your evocation, explodey wizard right here. Long range, magic, and area. Massive mana, but lots of damage. It's pretty fun. A buddy of mine's playing this. I decided to play a tank because, well, everyone can always use a tank and a healer, and in this game, I guess I'm both. So, the weapons that you pick really are going to be something that you spend a little time on. You will come up to these dummies the first time you get into the game, inventory, and you will get a bunch of base weapons. I realize you're not going to be leveled that high, so you won't have access to all of their abilities, but look at some videos and play around with them. I did it for quite a while when I had some free time the first day, which was only 2 days ago. And so I played around with it, and I watched some builds, and I watched some people online, because there's a lot of fun possibilities, and if you like to mostly do a lot of solo content, you're going to want to build it different than if you know you're going to be playing in a party the entire time. So I would spend as much time as you need to on this. Another thing, like I said, swapping skills. You will get these right here. Skill conversion books. Exchange skill growth values. This is going to allow you to take skills and convert them. Like later on, I am probably going to get rid of this and probably up my Karmic Haze. Or if I wanted to get rid of sword entirely and go for great sword, maybe I want to be a damage dealing healer, then I could swap between it. But they're few and far between. I think at level 20 or about, you get 6, and I think you get a handful more, between 6 or 12, somewhere between now and 50. Anything else, I believe you can buy them on the shop somewhere, but I haven't really looked for them really. I have had someone tell me they're here. Those are growths. Nope, I don't see it. I'm sure they're here somewhere. You can buy just about anything. But yeah, spend some time when you create your character. Make them look pretty, something you're going to like. Or not. And then go ahead and spend a lot of time on your weapon, because it's going to matter, and it's going to be a pain when it comes to changing, especially if you're new to the game, and especially if you're just getting into it, because you're also not going to want to spend all the extra time filling out one of these trees and then decide that you don't like sword and board anymore. So spend a little time. There's lots of guides out there, and enjoy. It is definitely a fun game, and I have been enjoying myself, even though I only got to play it a couple times so far. But it gives me that old MMO feels that I've been missing. Open world and all dungeons and everything. It just feels good. Tab target was a little bit off for me at the start, but I went back to my EQ and WoW days and everything seemed just fine. But yeah, so